arguably, we're looking at top 200 as far as the competition went. Now we're looking at the actual top 100 going toe-to-toe today.
That's right, but it's also old blood and, of course, the new blood that is really looking to challenge these very well-known players and be like, hey, look, we're here as well. So here we go. And
this is looking like a great bus right here. It's splitting everything right down the center. This is what you want as a competitor. You don't want, anything too weird, lopsided. It'll really throw you off your game. This right here is going to give everyone a fair opportunity to land somewhere and get it going. And you can see the aggression in Tilted Towers is still there, similar to yesterday. Multiple players landing there. It looks like Fatal Fields actually seeing a lot of action today as well. We didn't see 4 players land there, so highly contested today.
Now he is kind of staying boxed up, so now can kind of they decide how to engage this fight,
yeah,
right?
He's trying to buy himself some time, farm any materials that he can in the surrounding area because the pressure is against him right now. And there it is. That's that disengage that I talked about. He really has to back up here and make best use of his scar, basically. And he just used a trap there. That was unfortunate as well. I think he was trying to switch to his launch pad, and instead he goes sentry trap. And that was a mistake being made there. And I mean, now it's going to get paid off here. Now he has a launch pad to take with him for endgame as well. We can totally understand what it's like to, perform under pressure. Here we have Evo's just getting his farm on. He does a little pressure to Zypan, but I think he's just not feeling it. And that's a snipe from across the way.
So a big 90 chunk right out of his shield. And now this player's looking to engage.
Wow, that was a heavy shot right there. He's going to jump right overhead on the ramp, make a quick edit here, and the pressure is now on. He's the counter pressure, so whoa. Atlanta Swag kicks things off with the snipe shot. Arguably should have been his fight to take, but even coming from natural high ground, he did not expect the counter aggression from Evos. It's going to be a win for him. Definitely proving he's got the skill.
Over to Apostle and Pleasant. We saw this guy, a Titan, yesterday. The Storm King, if you will, down to 15 HP. He does look like he goes down, though. Eliminated by
Arson 2K was another player we saw performing extremely well yesterday. And even Apostle landing his shots there, just a tactical shotgun's not going to carry that damage, especially if you're going, head-to-head with a player like that while exposing yourself. So Arson 2K kind of deserves this one. And it almost looks like Arson comes in and swept up both of those guys, because if you notice, Apostle landed some pretty healthy shots on the player he was fighting, but Arson just gets 2-piece pickup right there. And Scalar's going to find himself his second as well. Not something you see very often to be in that very special situation to use those kind of plays, but hey, man, it works.
Grenade bounces out. One left.
Not only a bounce, that was a nice ricochet. Jeez, Axe is a madman. That was a Splode right there. Not only landing the AR shots, but the Splode was perfectly timed and executed.
We'll take a look at this replay coming up near Lazy Links. That's a clean shotgun there.
Big boy 190 shot.
Over to now looking to close in. It's Zexro, who's super low.
Ouch. You hate to see it. That's the second elim for Noe as well. So that means Zexro came right off of that rotation from Viking Village, which we know he loves to do in dive bomb players. If I'm him, I go for it. He knows he landed a Splode damage on one of these players, and the other has to be weak. But I guess Wikesi thinks that, it's better, and it's better decision to go ahead and just try and make it to the zone instead of chancing it here.
So Martin secures that elim, which is good for him. He'll get that extra 50 health on elim.
Arguably one of the best sidearms to have in the game, especially with the shotgun change. You're noticing people really opt out of no SMG, and looks like this guy's going to nearly dive into a trap play here. That was a close one. Wick, we just witnessed coming up from pressuring some other players. He's going to get caught by Martin, who was farming at the broken area by the diner.
That's right. Remember, they were fighting out in the storm. Wick decided to bail.
Right.
And then Martin turns the entire situation around.
Wick must have dropped his guard just a little bit here, and we're going to jump into that Mitro highlight right here. Woo! Dirty, dirty play right there, landing a heavy AR. And this is just not too far from Martin, just north of that broken house I was talking about.
Take a look at the current scoreboard. Warp there, another new blood. Second place, right behind Scalar there, Arson as well. So right now they have 1 point, Scalar and Warp. If they can find 2 more eliminations, that'll give them 2 points total. And then of course, at 7, they'll get 3. So keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, Warp is the player that I mentioned before we kind of jumped into this game. I knew he was going to bring his A game. He did it yesterday. You don't want to see him go. He's such an aggressive and great player, but Varun is not letting him breathe right now. Axe needs to jump in this. This might be the saving grace for Axe. Axe fought Warp, and Varun gets taken out by Warp.
So Warp joins the fight, and look, Axe is like, whatever happened over there, I'm good. I'm just going to disengage and get
Axe is a
safe.
genius. That means he was paying attention to the kill feed. He realizes Warp is the player that put him in this situation, and Warp walks away with that Elim. He has to get out of there. He gets to end game very often, so anyone that is represented for the controller community, can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I think him and Camo both play on controllers, so to see them kind of go toe-to-toe with these players is very, very impressive. Currently 16 minutes into just game number 1.
And it's going down. Ooh, we got to see Highlight catch some good highlights in game 1 yesterday. Now coming back for his second time at, Glory today. Happy to see him catching an Elim right there. That's very nicely done. Shield payout is going to help him out, or the health payout, I should say, on this rotation. But he's going to get chipped by a shotgun on his rotation. Axe and Warp, some of the newer players coming into the scene here. This is Elim number 5 for Warp, bullying his way straight through with the compact SMG.
Only a few mags there in the AR.
I just can't believe how many players are just absent in the southern area right now. They have all migrated from the north down, and they are hugging the storm line with really no place to breathe. They're just sharing oxygen at this point on top of each other's 1-by-1s.
Yeah, there's only one player on the very western side of the circle, and that's actually Skype, who's hugging that left side. That little yellow diamond there on the top right of the minimap.
And he knows there's no builds over here. There's no sign of player activity. There's probably a ton of resources on this rotation. He's got a nice, clean rotation to the next area. If you're ahead of the curb like this, you go for high ground when you make it to the next zone, in my opinion.
Now we've got another 5 seconds. Here we go. Storm is going to start to move. Now here's the tricky part, guys. We're moving on to a mountain monster. Every time we do this, the mountain wins.
It just gets better and better. Trying to fight up these mountains is really tough. You have to make it there early. And if you don't, you have to be lucky enough to have some kind of hard mobility to get around it, because you're going to burn resources and you're definitely going to be contested on your way up. It looks like Warp was eliminated at some point. Another, and so is Axe. Talking about eliminations. 2 of our most aggressive being taken out here. Axe just peeking at the wrong time. Someone was eyeballing that 1-by-1. That was it. Camo now in the lead for the rotation here. He's managing to cut players off, getting in front of other players' snakes, which means that he's going to go on the aggression. This is what you do when you cut players off. You take the lead here and put the pressure to the backside. He's going to want that material as well. Nice RPG. That was a close one. He saw it coming.
Just keeps the pressure up. That's 30, a white number there. That means Camo's very aware. That's straight to his health bar. He's still going to keep pressure.
This is his final build right here. This is the battle that he has to hit his shot. He needs to connect. He's surrounded by players. 3 grapple shots left. What's he going to do here? He's getting shot in return. They're both deciding to target on him.
Kamu
he gets melted.
It's Ghost Isa versus Ghost Camo, both members of the Ghost org here.
And it looks like Isa is in the high ground here. He has 70 materials. This is where you want to use the sentry gun, those 1v1 situations or something like that. He's got a hand cannon. His loadout's looking great. He goes for it, misses the shot. Camo just tried to make a risky grappler play. That might have been his last shot, actually, from what we last saw. That's fall damage. He lands both shots.
For it.
Well played. 6 elims for Isa.
That is absolutely crazy. Isa securing his first victory royale with 6 eliminations. Now keep in mind, he did get 6. He was so close. And see how Isa picks up the elimination there.
Here goes Camo. He readies up that grappler right after he just misses it. He didn't realize Isa goes for the drop down play. Catches him by surprise. 75 from the hand cannon. Followed by a very healthy pump shotgun shot there. And there it is, the 1-2. 131 from the
We're going to take it to the standings and see where our players line up. So again, top 20 are who will place in the topmost portion of the money. Isa right now leading the pack with 5 points, but Camo right behind him with 3. So we'll hop on over to the second page and see who else is in contention for that top 20. So Markel versus Airwalks right now, and Dougie, New Blood, looking to shoot for that top 20th spot.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the numbers being put up today, down to 20 players earning themselves a point. That's a lot better than any of the heats I think we've seen in the past.